Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It's Darkseeker here, and we are looking at Toymachine's Zoolock on the Wild Mode ladder. Here is a deck that can do insane amounts of damage out of nowhere, winning you a game, sending you on win streaks on the Wild Mode ladder, and leading to other players calling you some rather rude names, calling you a beginner, and saying that you just top deck every time. Yes, this deck must be good if it leads to people befriending you and leaving comments like that. So yes, it must be a good deck, right? Well, let's have a look at this deck then, and let's have a look at what makes it so good. Let's look at what makes it cause people to rage quit games and then, message you with nasty comments like this. Well, here it is. It's very much a zoo deck in the sense that you've got this early curve that you want to get. The dream opening is Flame Imp with Voidwalker, so with the coins, so the Voidwalker protects the Flame Imp. Dark Peddler can give you some very interesting cards like Abusive Sergeant, which you can then use on other minions to trade on the board. It can give you Power Overwhelming. Leroy Jenkins is in this deck, so Leroy with a double PO combo is a lot of damage. Defender of Argus is in this deck to protect your face from taking damage, also allows for good trading. Imp Gang Boss, one of the best 3-drops in the game, particularly when comboed with Argus. But the real MVP, in my opinion, of this deck is the Nerubian Egg. Now remember, we are on wild mode here. This ain't standard mode. This is wild mode where Nerubian Egg can still be played. And it's such a big deal because if you put that card down on, let's say, turn 2, and then on turn 3 you apply Abusive Sergeant or Power Overwhelming and get a trade, you get a 4/4 on the board that probably your opponent can't deal with so early in the game. So Nerubian Egg into the Nerubian, the 4/4 Nerubian, can cause such a major swing in the early game. You've also got a few of the other classic combos here, like Knife Juggler and Implosion. That can be pretty insane. My RNG, my luck on Implosion is terrible. I always roll 2 or 3, well, often 2, so it's never great. But then we've got Sea Giant to make up for that. They never see the Sea Giant coming, and it's a big threat that sits on the board and is very hard for them to deal with. So we're going to have a look at a few games of this deck on the Wild Mode ladder. Starting out here at rank 5 against a paladin called Sleepy Bear. Now I'm sure I've faced Sleepy Bear a few times, and I'm going to make the assumption that this is Secrets Paladin. As is often the case in Wild Mode, Secrets Paladin is pretty much everywhere. Okay, the Possessed Villager is not as good as the Voidwalker in terms of protecting my Flame Imp, but it's okay. It's okay. 2 bodies on board, an early curve, an early start. Hey, it's good. Okay, we have choices here. I'm pondering the Peddler just for the draw.
Buying or selling.
Okay. Mortal Coil or the Voidwalker? Mortal Coil seems fine. Why is Mortal Coil so good? Well, this is a paladin. Plays dudes as his hero power. Or Silverhand Recruits if you want to get technical. Oh god, right. Steward of Darkshire. This scares me a lot. Well, we're just going to kill it. The question is how. I may just want to trade both minis in, because I want to develop the Imp Gang boss. There are lots of things that I could have done on that turn, and I chose the Imp Gang boss, because it's a 2/4 minion, right? But he plays a Shredder, which is still fine, because, hello, Abusive Sergeant. Okay, let's see. I'd want the juggle to go face here. That's good. Hey, that's okay too. not bad. So in the end, that all worked out. But this is a paladin. He's probably got consecration, right? So maybe we should have played Nerubian Egg in time for turn 4. Because Nerubian Egg would make consecration quite unattractive. But there is no consecration. Instead, here come the secrets.
Reporting for duty.
And now, this has got quite scary. Because there is a secret keeper on board. There are secrets. There's dudes. Yeah, this just got quite scary. Okay. Well, it's not avenge. Okay, at least we know that much. It is Noble Sacrifice, and that's the minion that I'd be happy to sacrifice to Noble Sacrifice. That's fine. I have a Soulfire. I could just use the Soulfire here. This is actually really tough. Or just draw a card, perhaps. Get a PO. Okay, we'll use it here. It's fine. Okay, we lose the PO. That's okay. I'm actually happy to lose the PO over the Nerubian Egg. I value the egg here more than the actual PO. Yeah, I can use Dark Peddler to get another PO, it's fine. Or Defender of Argus even to buff it up. But Lotheb comes down and he says, I see you. Yeah. That's decent, I think. Yeah, that's really decent. So now we can tap. We can play the Direwolf in between the 1/1s. Go face, thank you very much. Wow, my Knife Juggler is really doing everything that I want him to do. And I'm actually playing the egg to play around Consecration. If I'd played the Flame Imp, Consecration would have killed 3 minions there. That would have been really bad for me. But Nerubian Egg makes it somewhat unattractive to Consecrate. When the Nerubian spawns, it also buff up the Councilman. And there's the victory. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay. New game here. Against a player called Jab? Now, is this the famous pro player also called Jab? I don't know. Well, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. We get the Dream Star with Zoolock, and the Dream Star is the Flame Imp into the Voidwalker. Voidwalker protecting the Flame Imp. Make a nice little team there. Okay, so floating 1 mana there, playing the Fiery Bat. Fiery Bat, okay, it's not bad. If I trade the Voidwalker in, it could kill the Voidwalker. I mean, that's good value for him, right? So I'm going to try and minimise the chance of that happening by playing the 1/1 there. Yes, wow, it kills the Villager. But importantly, my Voidwalker survives, and I'm still left with a board. Which now dies to Unleash the Hounds, of course. Well, not all of it dies. And I can now play an on-curve Councilman, which is really strong. Because next turn we have Peddler into a 1-drop, and then of course Abusive Sergeant to fill out the rest of our curve. Wow, this is actually going really well for us. So, I think to begin with, we could just Peddler here, just to see what we get. I am conscious of perhaps trading in first to the Shredder in case there's a Doomsayer, but how often does that happen? I think it was worth playing the Peddler just to see what we got. We got a PO, it's fine. And now we just do this. No Doomsayer. That ain't the Doomsayer. Okay. 2 POs in hand. Wow, the second Unleash the Hounds. How is he going to play this? Okay, it's killing the Councilman. Smart choice. He knows it's a threat. Now, I'm going to play around Explosive Trap here by putting down the Nerubian, and yes, it is explosive. If it was freezing, I'd have been okay with that too, because we've got a peddler back to hand. High main on 6. Huh. Ooh. Juggler Implosion. Oh, okay. Rolls for 4. I never get lucky. I was a bit shocked there, a bit surprised, because I never get lucky like this. We've just done some damage to his face. He's used both Unleash the Hounds. I bet he wishes he had Unleash right now. No, he just plays the second high main. Okay. Okay. Well, we can tap. That's sensible. Do we have lethal? No, we don't have lethal. We don't. We certainly don't have lethal. I was just looking at the POs in hand. It just looked pretty insane for a minute there. Okay, draw card. That's a card. To quote Amaz, who's a great streamer, by the way, watch his channel. To quote Amaz on Twitch, that's a card, which I'm not going to play.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Because I sense greater efficiency in this play. Okay, the juggle didn't hit the high end. That's fine. So, what's he going to do? Oh, Call of the Wild. Of course. Did I even have to ask? Call of the Wild. Of course he had it. Call of the Wild, such a good card for Hunter. Unfortunately for Hunter, at least on standard mode, I mean this is wild mode, right? But on standard, the Hunter's early game is generally quite weak comparative to other classes. So they've got this weak early game, but then they've got this amazing late game. So a lot of pro players who are quite down on Hunter at the moment because of that weak early game. But on wild mode, of course, Hunters have Mad Scientist, and that's pretty strong early game because you get the value from the secrets or the traps. So, anyway, what's the best way of doing this? Bit awkward here because of Misha and Leok on board. I'm pondering the use of Power Overwhelming here. Do I kill Misha and just ignore Leok? I can't play the Giant. It's okay though. This should be fine. If he has a second Call of the Wild, that could be troubling for us. Nope, there's a Sludge Belcher. So Belcher, another one of those amazing cards, a bit like Shredder. A bit like Nerubian Egg, so powerful. Naxxramas was just insanely powerful, particularly if you were playing Hearthstone back in, I think it was 2014, and you think back, you know, Sludge Belcher, Nerubian Egg, Paladin Shredder, but the Undertaker, not the wrestler, the card. The Undertaker was such an amazing card in Hunter. You just got this Death Rattle synergy going, and the Undertaker got buffed every time you played a Death Rattle minion, and then they nerfed it and no one plays it. But there you go, Sludge Belcher, massive taunt, standing in the way. How do I get through him? How do I get through him? I think I'm forced here to PO, as unfortunate as that is. Okay, I can actually play the Sea Giant too. There we go. Who says playing Zoolock is easy? Zoolock can be very complicated to play. Thank God I don't play Secrets. So obviously teched out his deck to combat Secrets Paladin and Mages and other Hunters. But it's over. Or is it? There's a secret. I mean, if that's explosive, I win the game. If it's freezing, I still win the game. If it's Bear Trap, maybe I win the game. Yeah, whatever. And there we go. Traversing through rank 5. Okay. Now, this next game, I believe, is for rank 4. And I'm going up against a friend of mine, actually. Somebody that I befriended last season. And, yeah. This is quite emotional, because they're a friend. And there's a lot at stake for me here. Rank 4 is at stake on wild mode, so it feels bad, right? Going up against a friend. And they're a Zoolock player, I believe. And a very good Zoolock player at that. I mean, I think this particular player has hit Legend. Probably more times than I have. I've only hit Legend once. That was last season. There's a video on my YouTube channel. I use Mid-Range Hunter. In the June season, I think it was, and there's a video on my channel showcasing that. So do check that out if you want a good hunter deck to ladder with on wild mode. And I'm going to trade here. Why? Because as Zoolock, you value the board. You seriously value the board. It's so important that you have the board. I could have gone face and expected him to trade, but no. All sorts of things can go wrong. But here, something's going right for me. I can play the Peddler, I think, to draw a card. I think I value doing that over the Juggler. Right, Mortal Coil there. I was so tempted to pick, what was it, Shifter Zeus? Is that how you pronounce it? Because I've picked him before, and he's a lot of fun. But here we pick the sensible card, because rank 4 is at stake. We don't pick the RNG card, we pick the sensible Mortal Coil to draw a card. Okay, I have the board, but my experience with Zoolock, and I've played a fair amount of Zoolock, my experience of Zoolock suggests to me that my board advantage can evaporate, you know, just like that. Well, that's not too bad, actually. Ooh, that's so good. Double Mortal Coil. Wow. Okay. This is fine. We just play more stuff. Play more stuff. Let's see what they've got. Because right now, it's not looking great for them. I was lucky enough to have the start. I was lucky enough to get the Nerubian Egg popped. I was saying earlier at the start of the video, the power of Nerubian Egg is incredible. It should never be underestimated. Okay. Well, we just play stuff here. I think that's what we do. We just play stuff. And we see where the juggles go. We see where the juggles go. Well, they don't play weapons. It's either the Jouster or the Villager. I'm actually going to take the Jouster here because we're going to be tapping soon. So there's some synergy there. Wow, that's terrible. Knife Juggler. But, as always, we are clearing the board. We don't want anything left on their side of the board. This is how you win with Zoo. You clear the board, you dominate. And you have to, because quite often with Zoo, you're playing low health, low value minions. You can't let your opponent get a foothold on the board, because if they do, you lose control. And with your low health, low value minions, you're going to potentially find it difficult to claw back. That's often the case against other classes. In the mirror match, your opponent is also playing low health, low value minions. You know, like peddlers and imps, you know, and villagers. Like so. Wow, that's really good for him. Or is it? Because if I can kill the Knife Juggler, we should be okay. Now, Argus is interesting. I have so many options here. So many options. Instead, we're going to go with the Argus. Positioning here, super important. Oh, that's dangerous. Whoops. Maybe I should have killed the juggler first. I don't know. But that could have ended badly. Yes, our knife juggler, thank God, is still alive. But yeah, positioning was really important there. Wanting to buff up the peddler, and wanting to buff up the Imp Gang boss, keeping our knife juggler and our injured Nerubian safe. That was the purpose behind the positioning on the board there. Positioning with Zoolock is so important. I often get it wrong. I often get it very, very wrong. Because it's hard, right? You've got to invest a lot of mental thought and energy into getting the positioning correct. And again, so many choices and options here. Everything in my card is potentially everything in my hand is potentially playable. I can tap. What do you do here?
Sustenance.
I think sacrificing the Nerubian is fine because it now puts his councilman in range of a juggle. That's bad. Okay, Leroy. I should have, oh god, these are secrets. Maybe I should have played that first and then tapped. Oh, that's good. The reason I didn't is because I was thinking I'd get something that I could play, like a minion.
Almost out of time.
That maybe I'd get something else I'd want to play with my 2 mana, but I didn't. I don't know. Was that a misplay? Probably. Ooh, Sea Giant. Right, how much damage is on board? 4, 5, 6, 9. Plus Leroy. Sorry, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Plus Leroy. It's not enough given the taunt. I don't think it's... This is complicated now. So just trying to calculate. We have to kill the giant then. Okay, rolls for 3. Oh my god. Okay. Oh wow. Just wow. Okay. Maybe I got my ordering wrong there. Yeah, I should have attacked with the Imp Gang boss first, so I get to spawn an imp. Because the board was full, we didn't get the imp spawned. And then I should have played the 1-3. Yeah, so I'm misplaying in this game, and do you know, I think it was the nerves of trying to get to rank 4. Because I'd spent a bit of time at rank 5, just going back and forth with different decks, and you know, the nerves kick in, the rope kicks in, real life distractions kick in. You know, I'm not a pro player. I get distracted by people at home, and you know, it's difficult. I'm not making excuses. Well, I am making excuses. But anyway, we're just gonna clear like this. It's fine. He'll have to trade the Doomguard in. What I'm looking for here is doing enough damage to his face so I can play Leroy. But we traded there because I think trading is important. I mean, I could have just gone face just to do as much damage as possible. just so that Leroy would be activated, but then things like this happen where they start clearing your board and doing strange things. Hey, that's good. Is that lethal? Yeah, it's lethal. Well, Leroy wins this game. And there we go. So, Toymachine's Zoolock deck, ladies and gentlemen, on Wild Mode. Have a go. It's a lot of fun.